So, I guess let me talk a little bit about my vacation. And I didn't take any pictures of the room, but I did find stock photos of everything but the view. I looked up a review of this place. I was looking to find a hotel. I mean, I know this was unrealistic. That was maybe $50, but no. There were some that were 65, 75. But I wanted, my husband wanted something that was on the beach so we could just walk over to the beach. Some of these were like a whole block away, or some of these were like behind the stores. And he said he didn't want a view of the back of the store. I was just trying to find something with good reviews that was at a decent price. But one thing I was not going to do was pay more than $100 for the night. Um, so, my husband just felt like he was going to have no respect on if he didn't get away from this property. Because when you live where you work, you can't escape it. As I was about to make a reservation, I was just looking, something that had decent reviews, something that was at a decent price for like 75. I think it was 85. And, my husband always says you get what you pay for, but the ones with the better reviews obviously were higher priced. But like I said, I'm not paying more than $100. And then I saw this thing on Priceline that it was a Hilton hotel and it was an ocean view king size suite. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And it had good reviews. Because I go to TripAdvisor, and it was right across the street from the beach. It had a good review, and the sale price was $96 a night. At first it said 107, but if you do it through Priceline, it was 96. And so I was like, okay. And at first we were just gonna do 3 nights, but then we decided to do 4 nights. My husband just wanted to get away from here, be away from here as much as possible. So the only one thing that is said about this place was that it was a really busy weekend. I don't know if it was spring break, but it was a wedding going on, and everybody's room was ready except one person's, and they were giving her a hard time, and they were getting nasty with her, which surprised me because this place just really had good reviews. I don't know why, but I was getting one of those feelings when I read that was going to be me. But we were going the week before Memorial Day, and I was like, I was afraid they're not going, that they were going to make a mistake and not put it in the ocean view. As long as I got a king size, and it said it was a suite, so I was just getting a funny feeling. And then my reservation, and I always, keep copies, said free parking. It's free Wi-Fi, free parking, there's a pool, free breakfast. That got my attention as well, because the other places that were cheaper weren't serving breakfast anymore. And so I just had an uneasy feeling. Not about the vacation itself, but just about, I said that if there's not, things always happen to me, so, but I'm like, no, I'm being silly. It's the week before Memorial, after Memorial Day, yes, it'll get busy, but not the week before. So, the day before I called in just to confirm, my reservation. They said, oh yeah. And not only do we serve free breakfast, we serve free dinner too. 3 nights a week. And I was like, oh, okay. And they said check-in was after 3. We got there at 2:30, and they were like, oh, we don't know why Priceline does this. We keep telling them to change it, and they don't change it. Oh, the day of, I read that you had to pay $10 a night for parking. When I went to go confirm my reservation, I saw that it said on the internet $10 a night for parking. I'm like, what the frig? Anyway, my reservation said free parking though. So anyway, I get there at 2:30. I said, I know that we're half an hour early, but can we check in? And They said, "Oh no, we told Priceline 1,000 times that check-in is after 4, not 3." Okay. She says, "But you know, oh, and I asked them, what I think I asked them what was my room, and they said they won't know till the day of." I was like, "Fine." So they said your reservation will be ready, but you should be ready by 3. And those ladies, I don't know if they were getting ready to leave, but at 3 o'clock I came in, and there were different people in the front. And she said, "We need a credit card for incidental." I prepaid it with my PayPal because it gives you, the deal. It gives you 6 months to pay. And she said, "We need a credit card." I said, "But I prepaid this already." And she says, "Well, we need it for parking and incidentals." And I'm like, I was gonna bring. I have a credit card only for like emergencies. I was gonna bring it. I didn't bring it. I don't like leaving my bank account information. But then I remembered I did have my gas credit card, which I could use. It's for anything, and so I had some money on that, and I did that. And I said, as for parking, no, because my reservation says no parking. This other lady was so upset. And she's like, "We charge for parking." I said, "But my reservation says free parking." She says, "Well, you need a tag for your car." It was like a piece of paper that you put on the dashboard. "And without that, you're going to get towed." And I said, "Regardless, I prepaid 3 weeks ago. I have a paper stating it's free parking. So regardless, you got to give me that dashboard card." She was so upset. The ladies had not left. She went to the back and she told them, and they were like, "Fine, we need a card to put $20 on incidentals." And I'm like, "What's incidentals? Like, do they, like, if I'm going to trash the room or something?" And she's like, "Oh, because we have a little store here, and if you buy anything from us, it'll be charged to your room, and it'll come out of incidentals, and yes, if you do something in the room." And I wasn't worried about that. I'm not a rock star, I make a mess. So I use the gas credit card, and I was a little upset, but she said, "Oh, wait, your room's not ready," when they told me it would be ready at 3, the other ladies. So I'm sitting in the car, so you know what, let me just do some cleanup in the car. Let me just, get ready for the room. One of those little rolling thingies, and, to set our suitcases on. And I was just sitting there, just whatever, drinking some water. And I said, if this lady does not have my room available by 4, it's go time, man. So I was like, you know what, I got to go to the bathroom. It was 3:45. I just went to the bathroom, and as I was coming out, a girl got there 5 minutes to 4, and she's like, "I know I'm early," and she was like, "Oh, you're okay," and and so I said, "Oh, she better not tell me my room's not ready," and she couldn't, because if she could tell that girl the room was ready, and I've been there since 2:30. So she was, kind of upset, and, they were like calling Priceline, but I had it in black and white, and it was prepaid. So they gave me my room. The room was really nice. I have to say, it was a really nice room. I just need a king size bed because I'm a big girl, as you saw in my pictures, and my husband's a tall man, and I brought a couple of support pillows, so I need the room. And it was the only thing I didn't like was the bathroom was really small, and I had a hard time, like one of the doors was in the way, like the door's in the way for you to go into the shower, so that was a little bit of a pain in the neck. But I was prepared, for everything I needed. It was a little difficult, but and The only thing I did not like, I mean, we had a refrigerator, there was a stove there. I wasn't cooking this vacation. We had a toaster, we had a coffee maker, they had coffee in the room for you. Oh, and I asked them about the complimentary dinner, and they were like, I don't know who told you that. It's just like finger food. You know, it's finger food, it's 3 nights a week, and they call it a social, but nobody's really socializing, you know, I guess because of COVID, you're not going to wear your mask when you eat. So, but hey, that would help because I'm not hungry 24/7, even though I'm a big girl, but my husband is hungry 24/7. So, the less money I have to spend, the better. So, you know, when I got to the room, I noticed that our room was in the far, like, left, and they were doing some construction. And so basically, my view wasn't really of, like, the beach per se. My view was of it was a small construction that they were doing. I think they were preparing for the Memorial Day weekend. So the view wasn't great, but since we were on the 3rd floor, we still got some view of the ocean. We could see the beach. But also there were like these beach houses. I don't know if they're inns or people actually lived in them, but you know, that was pretty. I was like, wow, me and my husband were like, what's that? You know, do people live there? Is that a bed and breakfast? What is that? But regardless, we wasn't planning on really spending too much time in the room because we were planning to go places. So breakfast was amazing. I mean, a lot of places, they say they have breakfast and it's continental breakfast. Some places do have a waffle machine when we've been to places with free breakfast. So continental breakfast might be donuts, muffins, bread, butter, cereal, you know, with coffee and juice. This place was amazing. They had scrambled eggs, they had bacon, they had fried potatoes, they had 4 different juices, they had 4 different coffees, they had waffle makers that had like different syrups that you can put. Oh my goodness, it was amazing, the breakfast. Breakfast ended at 9:30, and I'm not a morning person, but I put my alarm for 8. And I just put on some foundation, got dressed, went out. Breakfast was amazing. Then I go back to the room, finish putting on my makeup, and then we'd be out by about 11 or 12. So it was cool. There was some stuff at Moody Gardens that was only in the morning, but for the month of May, they did it for noon. So that was perfect. We were watching 3D movies. It was really cool. They had shark, they had Pacific Ocean, you know, stuff which I, you know, showed you in the video. And we went out there. No more Joe's Crab Shacks in Houston. That was like the only one left. We went there. The food was amazing there. Except for the Cajun, because she said it's got some Cajun seasoning, and the same excuse I've been hearing all my life. It's not spicy. My throat was on fire. I was coughing my brains out because, you know, it's my throat, my esophagus, my stomach can't handle that. So, but the Cajun was only on the clams. I thought they were fried. I should have asked, but they were boiled with Cajun. So my husband, you know, ate it. The potatoes weren't completely fully cooked. I saved that anyway. I gave my husband the corn. Oh my God, but I was enjoying it. It was lobster claw, crab claws, and shrimp. And then it came with Louisiana sausage. I think it's called, what's it called? Bedot? But whatever it is, it was spicy. I said, can I please replace this? And they gave me some shrimp. So it was so cool. You know, we got the little cups that light up. I got a watermelon refresher. My husband got a lemonade refresher. It was, I don't remember. I think he got a ginormous salad. Because remember, he's the health food buff who loves to have sugar. So that, you know, that was pretty cool. And we always bring back the leftovers. We keep it in the fridge. I get up in the middle of the night because my nose was stuffed up. So I was going to take my Benadryl. And I turn on the light, and there were a ton of those baby ants. I mean, they're probably just tiny ants. a ton of them. Now on the counter, all I had was my pills. I didn't have any food. They were trying to get into the sugar and the coffee packets, it seemed like. And I'm like, OMG. So I had a little bit of alcohol in a sanitizer that I just put in there. I poured that all over, and then I got really hot water. They had some washcloths for you to wash dishes, and I just put really hot water, and I took that and I just put it in. And the next day there was just a little bit left, so I just kept whatever little bit I had left. I kept pouring around, and made sure we didn't have any food. We didn't cook, so there was really not really that, except if when we brought home glasses, we would rinse them. Anything I didn't finish for breakfast or dinner, I would keep in the fridge because I knew me and my husband would get hungry. And it was just great because whatever we put in there, we wound up, eating, at night, because we didn't have lunch. We just had a big breakfast, a big dinner. So, it was really nice. And the bed wasn't bad. I slept pretty well. I wake up like every 2 hours, but the first night I couldn't find the shade. It had what's those thick curtains called? I forgot, but they didn't close. And so that first night I had the worst time sleeping. But when we, as a matter of fact, when we were looking at there were three 3D movies. We were falling asleep because I didn't sleep well the night before. But then the next day, I went to bed earlier. So then the next day was beach day. That we've been wanting to go to the beach so bad, but I refused to pay for the parking. It's ridiculous. It's got this big sign, and it's got a number on it. And you gotta call that number. You gotta give them. I don't really have credit cards. You gotta give them. I'm not giving them my bank information. It's just like this whole complicated process. So I'm like, I'm not doing it. I refuse. And so one of the reasons I wanted to get a hotel on the beach was just to walk to the beach whenever we wanted. That was, I mean, even though the walk was pretty, for me with my hips, like we brought the wheelchair, but only for me to sit down. Like you can't stroll that. You got to go across the street, then you got to go over this grassy area. Since they were doing some construction, there was a bunch of mud. Then you got to walk we went in the morning. Must have been something like 10:30 in the morning. We walked across to the chairs, and we were like, oh, there's chairs, let's sit down. And he said, rent me. I'm like, oh crap. But we saw people, sitting, and I said, how do you rent the chairs? And so they were like, we don't know. We figured they'll find us. I was like, okay. For all we know, we could have been getting scammed. But about a half an hour to an hour later, some guy comes by and he's like, you have to rent the chairs. And I mean, I brought blank towels to be on the floor, but it was so relaxing. It had a big umbrella, so you're shielded from burning. And it was kind of pricey. It was like $35 to rent the chairs, but they're yours for the day. And so I'm like, well, I had planned to be there for about 4 hours. So me and my husband I was like, you want to do it? He was like, yeah. So fine. So I used my gas credit card again because I had about $100 on that. So I knew that there was 20 there and then 35 here. So I knew I was okay, just in case I was being scammed, because it's one of those you put money on the card, so they can't take more than what's on the card. So anyway, he said he would email us the receipt, but I never got the email. They said they don't give physical receipts because people pass it on. So when they leave, they give it to the next couple or the next family that comes. So they don't give physical receipts anymore. But anyway, we went into the water a few times. We were under the umbrella. We were just so relaxed. We hadn't been on a beach for, I would say, about 25 years, because we lived near Coney Island, and we used to go to different beaches in New York City. And then when we was in New Jersey, we went to the beach. I mean, you could walk it in 15 minutes, or we could drive it in 5 minutes. Um, but when we moved to North Carolina, we were not near a beach. So we were in North Carolina for about 13 years. So, and we've been here for, let me see, 12, about 7 years. So you're talking 20 years since we've been on an actual beach. I mean, a couple of times before they put up that new system in Galveston, we would park and walk on the beach, but not actually go into the water or anything. So that was really nice. That was a real treat. And I expected to be there for about 4 hours and then go back to the hotel and then shower and go eat. But my husband, always hungry. I did bring water, but that was about it. He had wanted to go get sandwiches, and I was like, I don't want to bring sandwiches to the beach because oftentimes they get full of sand. So, we went into the water about 3 times. And by the 3rd time, my husband wanted to see me fall. I'm like, you crazy. I don't want to fall. So I'm holding myself up, and he's trying to film me. So that took its toll because I have arthritis. I mean, from my neck down, to my knees and, my hips. But you're holding yourself up, so my whole body was so tense. So I was in so much pain up until yesterday. So we went and we got like ginormous sandwiches at Jimmy John's. They make like 16-inch sandwiches. And so, we ate that, and then we had half, and then we were going to leave half for later. I couldn't even finish it. I was already full on the food that they serve at the hotel. Oh my goodness. They had pulled pork. The first night was chicken fingers with potato wedges, and I'm not really crazy about the potato wedges, but the chicken fingers were good. The second night was soup, and the third night was pulled pork. That was, OMG, that was so good. And then the third night we went to the rainforest. That is a whole nother story. But I'm going to stop now. I'm going to go have lunch, and I'll be back.